This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Hey, welcome on. It's First Alert Weather Breakdown time. Again, I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. Hopefully you didn't miss me too much on yesterday. Hey, but anyways, welcome into your First Alert Weather Breakdown here for the day today. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving yesterday, and it is a tremendous Black Friday here for the day today. Dry conditions, sunshine out. That's going to be nice here to enjoy here around the region. But slowly but surely, our sunshine is going to get clogged up by a good amount of cloud cover here for the day today. And eventually, that's leading us into our next major round of storms, which does hit tomorrow. That's part of why we wanted to get in at least one First Alert Weather Breakdown episode here for your Friday before we leave off for the weekend. We'll have obviously plenty of details on the storm here for tomorrow coming on up again, obviously, for tomorrow. But for the First Alert Weather Breakdown purposes, we wanted to go fully over our weather forecast here for the day today to prep you up here for your Saturday. So again, thank you for coming on. Welcome. I know it's Black Friday. It's a little bit of a holiday still, but hey, we've got lots of info packed into the day today. Let's check it out here for your episode on the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Again, we're dealing with rain here for tomorrow, and that's going to result in a very cold next work week. We're talking the coldest it's been since last winter, and kind of fitting. December 1st is literally on Monday, so we're leading ourselves into the coldest months of the year, and it will live up to its name. We'll talk about all that in our full local forecast here for you coming on up. We also have our final football forecast of the season, our final exclusive content surrounded around football forecast. There are more Saints and Cowboys games after this week, but that won't take up the full exclusive content, so to speak, on First Alert Weather Breakdown. It's still this week, I think it's quarterfinals for high school football playoffs, and it's the final regular season game for many of our college teams here for the day today. And on top of that, last thing I want to say about that before we get into our main schedules, we do have Andrew Wellmann in-house across from me. He's giving me the peace sign. We'll have his analysis of those football games, including the Bayou Classic. We do have a forecast for that scheduled here for this weekend. That'll be great. Look forward to that. But let's go over our own local ArkLaTex forecast here for you right here and right now. There's a live look into Texarkana as I'm getting control of my weather graphics. Again, hopefully you're all having a great day. Hopefully you all have had a fantastic holiday so far. But things are now turning south with the weather forecast. Now that we got done Thanksgiving, we're kind of going in the opposite of a good direction. We're going in the rainy direction of things, picking up the moisture content essentially throughout the day today, leading us into storms here for tomorrow. And you can kind of see that a little bit on our window road sky cam into Texarkana here. Again, if you looked at just the skyline for the past 2 days, it's been nothing but ample sunshine and blue skies. I know it still looks pretty now, but we do have clouds here on top of our window world sky cam up into Texarkana. You can see the same thing into Shreveport. Most of it's high-level cloud cover, obviously very thin, and you're not expecting much out of these clouds, which is the case in point, which should not be raining here for the day today. But this is just the slow and steady progress that leads us into getting enough moisture to produce those thick clouds that will produce the rain here for tomorrow. So here for the wet to wear forecast here out the door today. It is going to be a little chilly, but we've recovered after being in the 30s here early this morning. Now we've picked up our temperature here enough to at least get some hoodie weather, maybe light long sleeve shirt, those kind of things. Temperatures essentially are all around the 50s here right now. 55 into Shreveport, 54 into Texarkana, 50 into Natchitoches. Upper 40s in for DeQueen, 50 in Magnolia, 55 in Marshall. These high temperatures can warm up a few more degrees here for the day today and again tomorrow before our big cold blast comes on in. Everything weather-wise here for the short term is kind of revolving around what's going to happen here with this cold front that's going to swing on through. But most importantly, it is going to give us our next shipment of Arctic air plunging down out of the north. You can even see those very cold temperatures way up to our north, up into the northern states. I know that's not impacting us here in the ArkLaTex with this wave, but we're still getting those very cold temperatures around that freezing mark or just below that freezing mark into the region here for the first thing next week. Look at the time frame, Monday, Tuesday. That's when I'm expecting the coldest and the kind of the peak of this Arctic cold air to be swiping its way through the ArkLaTex here for you. So highs today, upper 50s, lower 60s. It's about the same high temperatures we've been hanging around with for the past 2 to 3 days now. But here comes the cool down. These were the recorded high temperatures yesterday around the ArkLaTex. Again, low to mid-60s. It's about the same high temperatures, case in point, of what we have scheduled here for the day today. These are pretty similar high temperatures to what we'll have tomorrow again. So 2 more days of this before temperatures really go downhill. In the yellow shade that you see there is your projected high temperatures here for this upcoming Monday. We're talking highs in the upper 30s and lower 40s. Get ready for it. Get yourself pumped up for it. Get yourself layered up for it. If you don't have a good heavy coat now, if you don't have a good heavy coat that hasn't really, I guess, suited you well, so to speak, for the past few mornings that we've had over the past month or two that have been cold, it's time to get one of those because you will need it certainly here for the afternoon hours now throughout the day here for the start of next work week. Point is, it's going to be very cold. Again, some of our temperatures might not even reach 40 degrees in a single day on Monday. It's going to be a really drastic temperature change, about 20 degrees or so, cooling off even more between the highs that we have now to the highs that we'll have on Monday, the start to next work and school day. I know some of you might not be ready to get off the Thanksgiving break, but it's going to be a rude wake-up call and a cold day heading back to the workplace, back to school itself. So, again, just prep up those layers. Get ready for it. A high of 38 in Texarkana, 43 into Shreveport for you there on Monday. This does not, we haven't even talked about the mornings either. That's just the afternoon. That's how cold the afternoon gets. To be fair, tomorrow morning we could briefly warm up for one day on Saturday. That's just because it's going to be raining around, and the rain and the cloud cover is going to try to keep just a little bit of warmth underneath. Morning temperature is going to be in the 40s here for tomorrow. But then starting on Sunday morning, leading into the work week, we got temperatures down in the 30s. And it's not just 30s. It's low 30s, and for the most part, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, low to mid-30s each and every single day you're waking up to. So, again, bundle up. Stay consistent. Make it a habit to grab out the jacket now that we've reached this kind of the season here in the ArkLaTex. So there's that cold blast that's swinging in behind this low-pressure system way out to our west. Now, you can see kind of the moisture and the moisture forming off the Rocky Mountains. Rocky Mountains are just to the west side of Denver. You can kind of see the cloud tops and those colors that you see there. Essentially, the deeper the color, meaning the more orange or more red it is, kind of the more moisture it has, the taller it is, essentially, which the taller cloud is, the more moisture it contains, essentially. And you can kind of see the trail of this cloud cover slowly but surely extending eastward. And some of this is getting in northern Texas and northern Oklahoma. The point is, this is moving eastward towards the ArkLaTex. That's why we're getting kind of just little high-level clouds here first and foremost. But once we get this system, this actual low-pressure system and cold front, a little closer into the region, again, that's when the peak of the moisture is going to come on through to give us the chance of storms here, which is mainly expected for tomorrow. We have 2 different future tracks here to show you, kind of one for short-term purposes, another one for long-term purposes. Let's go over the short-term first. It gives us our kind of specific timing of the storms that are going to come through here for you tomorrow. So here for the day today, again, the clouds are going to be picking up into the afternoon, but you'll notice that everything does remain nice and dry, even through tonight. So if you go on Black Friday shopping up until the bitter end when places close, those places should still be just fine. Then, heading into late tonight, the soonest the storms can get in here is going to be late tonight around 10:30, 11. It starts around northeast Texas and around southeastern Oklahoma. Keep in mind, we also do have some high school football playoff games as well tonight. So those will be just fine without having to worry about wet weather at all either. So, again, storms come in essentially into the overnight hours. Round of scattered storms between DeQueen all the way down to Nacogdoches here, hitting us in the overnight hours while you're sleeping here late tonight. And then, if you notice, tomorrow morning, still waking up to presence of storms around. To be fair, we got scattered storms around 10 a.m. more scheduled towards areas of the northern half of the ArkLaTex, but even the southern half, areas around Shreveport, the I-20 corridor, and the southern half of the ArkLaTex, still dealing with the presence of ample cloud cover, a little bit of some spotty storms around. The point is, it's still going to be incredibly muggy, incredibly humid, and just a gross atmosphere overall to get out during the day on Saturday, even when it's not raining here for the day. So again, just a round of storms coming through the overnight hours before Saturday morning. Looks like more of the storms are tailored to the northern half of the ArkLaTex before the afternoon picks up a good amount of scattered storms for the I-20 corridor and southward, and this could lead into some evening showers, even in areas of Shreveport. So again, Shreveport more like dealing with round one in the overnight hours leading into Saturday, and the round two comes Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. And even then, some of these storms could linger, especially areas of Natchitoches. Natchitoches, you're used to getting the storms last in across the region. Those storms are going to be coming through you kind of late Saturday night, around 9, 10, 11 o'clock before finally clearing out into the overnight hours. Sunday, looking a lot better. Sunday, much better weekend day for you then. Today is looking great. Just don't do tomorrow. Just don't. Yeah, if you have to, you have to, but it's just obviously looking like the worst day to get out and around, drive around, and shop around, if that was your plan. Monday morning, we start picking up a little bit of some cloud cover back, and this leads us into our long-term future track here for you, which is mainly tracking onto the second separate system of rain coming on in, again, which is going to be tailored a lot more towards Monday. So tomorrow, again, storms start in the morning, continue on throughout the day. Presence of moisture still stuck there all the way until Saturday night when we start finally clearing things out then. And by Sunday, things look a lot better. But now let's get into the system that's going to be coming through here for Monday. Monday morning, looking fine, but we're picking up the moisture and picking up the cloud cover. And eventually that's going to lead us into our main round of storms, which probably hits late Monday afternoon and into Monday night. Now, first and foremost, this is going to be most likely a quicker moving system, meaning it's not going to be like the system hitting us tomorrow, which just lingers on all day long. This is just going to give us a brief round of storms here between Monday late afternoon and into Monday night. So if you got any plans after work or school, fortunately, those aren't looking good. And keep in mind, this comes with the cold temperatures as well. It's going to be cold and rainy. Not a great day otherwise to get out to, so to speak, here for the beginning of your work and school week, especially coming after a holiday week. The last thing I want to mention here Monday night, take a look at what's happening on the northern end of the ArkLaTex. There's another color other than green showing up. And technically, you got to put this with with a little asterisk here. And this is the reason I also use this future track, too. To be fair, 99% of the region, if not 100, is just going to be getting rain. Look at that green blanket. It's all across the ArkLaTex there through Monday night. But I had to mention this future track because technically, yes, it does show us getting just the tiniest, just pay attention to my words very closely here, because this is a very fragile word that we use here, especially in the ArkLaTex, is the word snow. We have Andrew, don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Andrew's looking at me like that on the side. This is why I said this is a very fragile word. Case in point, my words, my man. Anyways, pay attention to my statement here very closely. We have the slimmest chance of getting just a little bit of mixed precipitation Monday night. The slimmest chance. Only, and I stress the word only, especially, only for areas in the very northern edge of the ArkLaTex. We're talking like DeQueen, Idabel, only. Everybody else, it's only rain. Everybody else, it's just rain. Look, it's early December. We're going to get the peak of we're going to get some colder systems working in here that might have a chance of some wintry precipitation for those of you that do want it. But we do have to mention, again, just the tiniest chance. It's like everything has to go right, essentially, for us to get any chance of even mixed precip heading into areas of Idabel and DeQueen is what I'm trying to get at. You have to have it cold enough, which it's going to be chilly. We're going to have temperatures down in the upper 30s and lower 40s, but that's the problem. It's still not below the freezing mark of 32 degrees here for the most part. That's the projected temperature. That needs to go right. There needs to be enough moisture to produce the rain up into the northern edge, or produce enough precipitation in the northern edge of the ArkLaTex for it to happen. Just the two of those things combined is why it's just unlikely that mixed precip is going to happen up there. But again, on the future track, it does give us just the littlest, tiniest sliver of pink and white just on the northern edge of the ArkLaTex only, and then once we get into Tuesday, it would be dry on that day. Now, tailoring back to our system that's coming through here for tomorrow, we do have a marginal just a slim marginal risk of severe weather here for tomorrow. That's in effect for most of the ArkLaTex. The only area that's out of that is the northern edge of the ArkLaTex, but Just watching out for a little chance of hail, strong winds coming on through, maybe flash flooding, but even that's on the lower of low ends of things to happen around here for this system. So, again, tomorrow is not a first alert weather day. I will just say that first and foremost. But you can expect still plenty of pockets of heavy rainfall, a little bit of hail, and strong winds to make it a little difficult underneath some of those cells to get out and around town here for tomorrow. Now, going back in your lifestyle forecast here to kind of summarize everything up here for you. Temperatures, again, a little chilly out there this morning, but obviously picking up into the 50s and maybe reaching 60 degrees by the time we get to the peak of the afternoon. And we build up cloud cover here through the day today, especially into this afternoon and into tonight. And eventually that leads us into our round of storms here for tomorrow. So your whole Black Friday weekend, if you're picking any time to shop out and around town, first of all, Black Friday itself today is looking great here for the rest of the day today. But then you get into tomorrow, just don't choose tomorrow. Go back out on Sunday. It's going to be a lot cooler, to be fair. Again, highs are only in the 40s there for Sunday. But it's going to be worth it. You're not dealing with any rain. You're not dealing with any storms on that day. So to tailor all this up in our forecast headlines, I'd save this actually until last. Today, cloudy but dry. Tomorrow, it's stormy all day. When it's not raining during the day tomorrow, it's still going to feel gloomy. It's still going to have that sogginess stuck to the ground and stuck to those roadways, the wet conditions, the wet feel, the muggy feel, whatever you want to call it. It's still going to be there lingering on for just a bad feel and a gross day overall here for your Saturday. And then it's going to be, as a result, very cold to start next work and school week. I cannot stress that enough as well. Get ready for that, especially with these morning lows and the 7-day forecast cold in the low to mid 30s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We finally start to warm up into the second half of the work week there. Highs around 62 over the next 2 days. Storms come on Saturday. Then we have a round of storms on Monday night with those cold temperatures getting down in the low 40s, upper 30s. Then all day long, it is going to be a cold, cloudy day in for Monday. So prep up for that before temperatures slowly but steadily rise into the 50s once we get into the middle of next work week. All right, that was a look at your full 7-day forecast. Got any questions on it, which I do. I have one question for Christian on our live stream on YouTube. Christian, you say hey, first of all, hey Christian. What weather models websites do you use? I'm just curious. That's a great question. First of all, we get specific models tailored on the weather graphics system that we have that's tailored to you in the graphics that we show you. But the actual websites, Tropical Tidbits is a good one. Again, that's Tropical Tidbits, all one word.com. That's a great one because if you want to be a little more geeky into the weather models and what different ones say and things like that and see how they impact the ArkLaTex here between the storms coming, for example, tomorrow or the storms coming for Monday night, you can go to that website. It'll literally just show you a rundown of several weather models, not just one or two, several of them that just show you different possibilities of what could happen. I trust models such as the Euro, or it's called in there, I believe, the ECMWF, something like that. I might have messed up the words. Anyways, the point is we use some weather models that we trust more than others that are a little more accurate, especially the ones tailored towards our graphics. But all the possibilities are in there. TropicalTidbits.com, that's the one I use. You can also use PivotalWeather.com. That's another one. I think those are the two I use the most. There's something called the College of Dew page, which yes, it's literally a College of Dew page. Yes, it is a college, but they have their own weather model site as well. So those three are what will work out for you. But the one I trust the most personally is TropicalTidbits.com. Great question, because it's something we do behind the scenes that not as much people really, I guess, not as many people are aware of, first of all, but are concerned with, again, because as I said earlier, it just opens up a door of opportunities. Anyways, I hope that answers your question, Christian. I see that you took away your comment. But, hey, thank you for asking. I really appreciate it. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Andrew has been waiting in front of me for several minutes. We'll give him the microphone. The two of us will talk about the forecast, the weather forecast, and we'll look over and analyze these football games here for the weekend when it comes to the high school, college, and football level around the ArkLaTex. He's getting himself pepped up. Again, we'll talk about all those football games that are going to happen for this weekend coming up after this. Stick around. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the First Start with a Breakdown. I'm meteorologist Evan Thompson. Thank you guys again for watching the full forecast. We are not done. We've gone over your weekend forecast again. Saturday is going to be stormy around here in the ArkLaTex, but we have several football forecasts for teams that are on away games, things like that, both at the college level and at the NFL level too. But we first start with high school football here first and foremost. And to talk about all the games on the final football forecast of the year, we have Andrew Wellmann.
Hey, guys.
Welcome on.
Good to see you, Evan.
Thank you. Great to see you as well, I must say. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great day. This weekend is full of some great football games, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's good. And again, as I said, this is pretty much the last week I'm doing this as well. We'll still have more football forecasts in store after this for both Cowboys and Saints, obviously, because their seasons still have a couple games left. But, for example, high school down to the quarterfinal level, right?
Yeah.
I think 3 more weeks to go. And
I believe so, something like that.
2 more weeks until the championship weekend, if any of our teams make it.
We're hopeful.
So okay. We'll go over high school sports in a second. It's also the final week of college football as well, the final main week, I should say,
season,
of regular season. Technically, there's Army and Navy next weekend.
Oh, that's going to be a great game. That's always great.
That's always a great game, but that's outside of the Army. That's my point as well. So the point is, it's great to have you on. First of all, I've also enjoyed having you on every single.
I appreciate that. I've been enjoying coming on here.
Cool. All right, so let's get into some of these games here. First and foremost, actually, let me mess around with some of my supers behind the scenes, but get myself prepped up. There we go. All right, so for your football forecast, we first start always talking about the local levels. And it starts with high school football tonight. Now, this is positioned right on top of Shreveport, but overall, this could stand for anybody around the ArkLaTex. First of all, weather-wise, it will be dry. No rain to worry about. Might be a little cloudy, but it's dry most importantly, so weather not impacting that. Maybe a little tiny breeze for those field goal kickers to deal with, but it's not too heavy. And lastly, the temperatures. A little chilly, and it will be sweater weather. Temperatures settling right around the lower 50s and upper 40s. I wouldn't call that heavy coat weather, but it's definitely something more than just dragging out T-shirt and shorts out to the game, so to speak. So more on the actual games, though. Andrew.
So we got a great
quarterfinals back in store. What you got?
We got a great slot of games. So for our first game today at 6, if you're going to watch our newscast, Chris is going to be over in Stonewall as North DeSoto's hosting Franklinton. The Griffins have been unbelievable this year. They are undefeated. Their offense is absolutely explosive. They have a great running back, Kenny Thomas. I believe he's committed to Louisiana Tech. I may be wrong.
Wow.
But they put up points so quickly. They are one of the more fun offenses I've got to see in person. So they're one of those teams I was talking about when we're looking down at the road toward the Super Bowl.
Are they the top seed?
I believe they're the top seed. They are the 1 seed in their bracket. So if they're down in New Orleans in the next couple of weeks, wouldn't be surprised. But they've been great this year. Another game we're going to be getting is Parkway versus Ouachita. That's a very interesting matchup. Both these teams are pretty good, but they had a little up and down towards the end of the year. But it's going to be a really good matchup. Chris is going to be getting that game. My game this week is Loyola Prep and Archbishop Shaw, and this is a really interesting game.
Ooh, Archbishop Shaw. That's from down in New Orleans. I recognize that.
That's actually where my cousin's going to right now.
Oh, shoot.
So,
wow.
yeah. So Shaw last year won the championship in their division. So they were a little worse this year, but they still have a lot of those. They retained a good amount of their that championship team. They've gotten better as the year gone on, but the Flyers are really interesting. They have had a great season, and they have one of the best offenses in the state. And it's mostly behind their passing attack. Their quarterback, Bryce Ronstar, I might be saying his name.
You're good. You're good.
I'm trying. He has been unbelievable this year for Loyola. He is, I believe, at the end of the regular season, he was second in the state in passing yards and first place in passing touchdowns. And last time I checked, I think he had 40 something touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. He's been unbelievable, throwing the ball. He is really accurate. He's not afraid to attack down the field. So they're really fun to watch. And plus, the Flyers have one of the cooler logos, mascots for anyone who's unfamiliar. Their logo is Snoopy on the house.
Yeah, I keep forgetting which team Snoopy is.
And so that's pretty cool.
Part of.
And then another game we're going to have highlights from is Haynesville versus Jonesboro Hodge. Haynesville has been an absolute buzzsaw. They are mowing through the competition this year.
Who did they beat last week? They beat another local team.
They beat
last
Homer,
week, right?
but that was a little tougher for them. Homer was pretty much in. I was at that game. Homer was in it for most of that first half. Both teams had some really bad turnovers. Defenses were playing well, but that's the oldest rivalry in the state of Louisiana. So that was actually a little.
I was gonna say they're right next to each other.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a treat for a playoff game because you normally don't, you don't get that more than once a season. But that was a pretty good game. But Haynesville has been dominant in their going back to last year. They've only lost one game, and it was in the state title game last year. They have been a buzzsaw. Their offense is putting up over 50 points, but their defense this season, outside of their playoff game, is holding teams to about 7 points a game. So they have been unbelievable this year.
I'm a little more invested in these final teams as well. I think one of the ones that comes to mind for me is Evangel. Is Evangel from here?
So Evangel is from here.
Yeah,
they have a tough matchup this week. So
top seed.
yeah,
Edna
Carr.
Carr.
Edna Carr is nationally ranked as one of the top 10 football teams, not just in the state of Louisiana, in the country.
Yeah.
So they have a great quarterback, Pop Houston. He is committed to LSU. He's probably the best passer I've seen with my own eyes.
And that's at a high school level.
At a high school level.
At a high school level.
And he's extremely polished, makes a lot of throws, but unfortunately, Evangel got the short straw of the bracket and had Carr this early in the bracket because Carr has been absolutely dominant the last couple seasons.
Real quick, I see a couple comments in the YouTube. I'm gonna get to that in just a moment, but real quick in that bracket, I want to shout out my own high school team.
Oh, Archbishop
Rummel. Still in there, Archbishop Rummel. They're in the quarters tonight, taking on St. Aug at Tad Gormley.
That would be a good one.
Which is down at City Park in New Orleans, so a little bit closer to home after they beat Tioga, I think it was last week against Alexandria. Just wanted to again shout out my own high school team. They're in the quarters, doing a fantastic job. Hopefully they make it another round, and they would not have to play Edna Carr until the championship if they were to make it. Which they still got to beat a difficult St. Aug team tonight. So anyways, to go over comments in our YouTube chat. First of all, thank you guys. I appreciate it much. Ken Troll mentions the Carthage Bulldogs going for 11 rings.
Oh, Carthage has
Texas.
Over in Texas, I've gotten to see Carthage just a handful of times over the last 2 seasons. Every time I've seen them, it is utter domination. This team plays like a near flawless style of football. They have a great running back. I think it's KJ Edwards is his name, but I believe he's committed to Texas A&M. He is unbelievable. He runs with a lot of power. He has the breakaway speed. Carthage is like what they've built over there is extremely impressive because it is a consistent model of just success and like utter dominance. The way they play the game, they control. It feels like they're in control of everything. No matter, even when they're down, it feels like they are exactly where they want to be.
That's really sick. And Cantrell also said, let's go North DeSoto. Again, North DeSoto, dominant. Top seed, right?
Yeah, they're the top seed. Their offense is unbelievable, guys. The way they put up points is just you blink and it's like 21-0, and it's just
like first quarter.
Yeah, first quarter. Like their offense, because their quarterback has been great. Their running game is amazing. It's a lot of speed out there.
Yeah. And Christian, I did want to answer your comment as well. You're welcome for answering your question always. And hey, this is what we do. This is what we do. Any questions, any comments that come in our YouTube chat, we answer for them live for you on this podcast, on the stream. Cantrell just says thank you, and yeah man, rock on Carthage and North DeSoto. That's pretty cool. Good for you there. All right, so lots of high school action obviously here tonight, but there's also college football. Again, last week of college football, going back into our forecast here for you. Let me get myself up here. I got a lot of graphical stuff behind a one-man band show here for you. All right, there we go. There's the graphics back on. Let's go on to the next one, which shows our college games coming on up. Now, we'll get to the last one that you were wanting to last, Andrew, okay? Tomorrow, LA Tech has their final game of the season. They are taking on Missouri State. They had their last senior night last week against Liberty. That was a fantastic comeback and a fantastic win. They still got one more game left in the regular season before they do go to a bowl game.
Yeah, they're going bowling, which is the first time they're bowl eligible since 2019. So it's a pretty successful season for Louisiana Tech, but it's been a little rocky. They started the year 4-1. You thought. And I know around the time people were talking about them being like a sneaky playoff team, possibly get that 12 seed. You know how that's for the group of 5 competition. And they kind of sputtered out just some really tough losses. But they're a very competitive team. Their defense is actually unbelievable. That is why people thought they could possibly sneak into the playoffs earlier this season, because that's a championship level defense. They force turnovers. They throw a lot of different coverages at you. Their secondary is amazing. Like I think last week against Liberty, they had 4 interceptions in the second half by itself.
Wow. Because they were down, what, like 24-7?
They were down in the third quarter 28-7.
Whew.
And they scored 27 unanswered points to win it in overtime. Not quite sure how the quarterback situation is looking there right now. I believe Trey Kukuk last week started for him. He was the third-string guy, but they've had some injuries there. A lot of key positions, they've had some injuries. So Missouri State's this is their first year in FBS, and they've been actually really good. They're
already bowl eligible.
They're already
as well.
bowl eligible. I believe the first season they're not supposed to, but I believe they're trying to fight that because they, you win the games, you should be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think something similar happened to JMU a few years ago. They went undefeated, I think, their first year, and they were.
That's amazing. Wow.
But that's going to be a really fun game, and congrats to Louisiana Tech. You're going bowling no matter what, so got to feel good about that.
But yeah, they're at Missouri State. I have one more question for you. The forecast for this game calls for storms throughout the game.
All right, so we're
not only that, cold temperatures in the lower 40s. This game is in Springfield, Missouri, essentially just one state away.
Yeah.
You cross over Arkansas. It's in southwestern corner of Missouri. Not only that, it is windy, too. We're talking winds up to 15 to 20 miles an hour, sustained throughout the game. Rainy, windy, cold, wet. This is not a fun last end of this game of the season that you want to have, especially for like Missouri State to have their senior night at. But how do you think that impacts the game? Because usually when you have these kind of conditions, it usually involves a lot of running.
Yeah.
So how do you think that works out?
So what you described is what we like to call perfect football weather. It's cold. This is how you play the game how it's supposed to be. You're gonna put your chin strap on. You're gonna put bodies on bodies, and you're gonna run the ball. And whoever can control the trenches is gonna win. You're gonna see a running back if it's a grass field covered in mud, and he's gonna fight tooth and nail to get as many yards as they got. Louisiana Tech actually has a great trio of running backs over there, so they have some great players back there in the backfield. But yeah, in those games, you're not gonna throw the ball very much. It's wet, it's rainy. You're not gonna throw the ball unless you have to. Third and long. If it's short and manageable, you're going to run the ball. You're going to hand it off, and you can give it to your running backs and trust them to fight for the yards.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it moves forward. All right, next game, college football-wise. LSU is on the road for the last game. Yeah, you're giving me like a sigh over there. Like what a season it's been for LSU. So they're in Norman, Oklahoma, their last game of the year. They are bowl eligible.
They are
I
bowl eligible. They're going bowling.
They're going bowling no matter
There's
what.
There's a chance they come here to the Independence Bowl. They're not great this year.
That would be something. But they do have at least one final regular season game to play out. Again, they're in Norman, Oklahoma, taking on 8th-ranked Oklahoma, the Sooners. That game's at 2:30 tomorrow. First, weather-wise, fine when it comes to being dry, but like same thing as Missouri, what they were dealing with over there, incredibly windy. Windy between 15 to 25 miles an hour. That's going to breeze in some cold air. Look at the temperatures by the end of the game. The end of regulation, temperatures are in the upper 30s, which might not be something that LSU is used to, especially in the SEC conference.
So another game of football weather. The fun thing about playing in the cold is you'll feel every hit. But this is an interesting matchup. Oklahoma.
Well, it is close to Oklahoma City. Yeah. Norman is, I think, only like 30 minutes south.
Oklahoma has kind of their quarterback, John Mintier, was in the early Heisman talks. He's kind of cooled off since then because he did deal with injury. But Oklahoma's still vying for a playoff spot. And personally, if I'm LSU, I do whatever I can to knock them out of the playoffs. You go to, even though it's not a rivalry game, you go to the board, whatever you have in your playbook, leave nothing unturned. Throw the kitchen sink at him. I believe the quarterback, Van Buren, is starting for LSU again. So he burned his red shirt, and that's okay. He's probably going to be our starter next year for LSU. He's looked promising. I think he has some juice to him. He's got a pretty strong arm. The LSU offense has still been kind of sputtery. Like last week against Western Kentucky, they only put up 13 points.
It was 13 to 10.
The Hilltoppers are good this year.
That is true.
The Hilltoppers are pretty good.
They're like 8-3 this year.
They were 8-4 going into that game. So
wow.
Feel a little better considering the Hilltoppers are one of the better group of 5 schools. But if I'm LSU, throw whatever you can. You play spoiler and you knock Oklahoma out of the playoffs.
Yep, just take it one game at a time. I know you're still recovering, obviously, heading into the next season, but you take this game, you take the bowl game, and you live and learn and go next year.
Lane Kiffin will probably be coming to LSU. That's my bet.
Oh,
If I had to guess, all the noise going around.
That's fair.
They're looking for their next head coach, and if I had to bet, it's going to be Lane Kiffin.
Fair enough. Okay. We'll see what happens after that. But, yeah, big game for them this weekend. All right, next one up is Arkansas. They're at home. Arkansas season has been one to forget maybe. They have one last home game this coming weekend at Fayetteville, Arkansas, the northwest corner. They're taking on 22nd ranked Missouri, just up to their north. It's a 2:30 p.m. kickoff game there for your Saturday. Just spotty storms again as we're dealing with scattered storms here in the ArkLaTex here. For Saturday, Fayetteville kind of dealing with that same line progressing on through the northwest western corner of Arkansas too. So the rain might impact their late part of the game, but at least for the early part of the game, they're not dealing with the colder air in front of that cold front. So it's actually going to start out with temperatures in the mid-70s and actually be in the upper 60s through the game. So very comfortable temperatures.
Sounds nice.
Just got to watch out for maybe a little bit of rain coming in late. But Missouri has been struggling recently. Arkansas kind of put up a fight against Texas on the road last week, even though despite their record. So what you thinking out of this? Because you got two struggling teams.
This could go either way. Promising thing for Arkansas fans out there. You guys made a great new coaching hire, Alex Golesh, who was running a great program down there at USF. Who earlier this year they beat Miami.
The Bulls.
They beat Boise State. They have more ranked wins.
They did. I don't think they beat Miami.
Not Miami. They beat Florida. My bad.
They
did lose to Miami.
My bad.
But they've had a pretty great season so far. The Bulls have been very good. Golesh has built a good program down there at South Florida. So for the future, even though it's been a rough year for Arkansas, you have that. I believe he will be able to get the most out of the talent you guys have at Arkansas. And for this game, it can kind of go either way. Like you mentioned, Missouri has been struggling as of recent, and Arkansas has been struggling all year. So, but Arkansas has had a couple games where they're really in it. They're fighting, and they have the chance to win these games. It's late game execution is where they have been struggling to kind of finish when you're in position to win. But it really could go either way right now. But at least the temperatures are going to be nice for the Arkansas fans.
At least the weather will be nice for the last game of the season. That's something counting for it. All right, let's get into the grand prize of the college football game, certainly here around the ArkLaTex this weekend. It is the Bayou Classic down in the Superdome. Southern is taking on Grambling. First of all, I know this is in a dome, but conditions outside the dome for before the game and after the game looking pleasant. Temperatures around in the 60s, upper 60s before kickoff, low 60s afterward. No chance of rain. Not dealing with any rain problems around there getting into the dome whatsoever. So it'll be great to see the bands. Bands obviously making always a fantastic part of that game on both sides. But this is the story of also two different teams trending in different directions. But to be fair, I believe Southern has won. Is that correct?
They've won three of the last 4.
Yeah, 3 of the last 4 games, despite Southern's record right now.
So Southern last year was actually amazing. I think they won the SWAC.
Wow.
So this is an interesting matchup. Actually, the Bayou Classic, as of right now, the series is tied up. So whoever wins on Saturday, they take the series lead.
How far back does the series go,
I think it's the 52nd Bayou Classic.
Wow.
So that's gonna be very interesting. Both these teams, very different seasons, like you mentioned. Southern has kind of struggled. They're not doing great this year.
1 win.
Yeah, not 1 win. I didn't want to say it, but
that's
Grambling is having a great season. They have their first winning season in, I think it was since 2018.
Wow.
And they've been doing it in, like, they're grinding out these wins.
Close games,
yeah,
too.
These are multiple comeback wins. I think they have the most comeback wins in all of FCS. And they're dealing with a lot of injuries. Their starting quarterback from the season, Savian Tissette, sadly went down with a really serious injury in the game against Jackson State over in Vegas, and he had been dealing with an injury prior to that. Their backup quarterback, Ashton Fry, who was filling in and being was doing a good job filling in, he goes down with a shoulder injury. Their third-string quarterback, Dansbury, comes in, goes down with an injury. And so their last couple of games this season, their starting quarterback has been freshman quarterback Hayden Benoit. He's a walk-on, 17 years old, from Louisiana. And I got to see him in his first 2 parts of action. One against, I believe, Alabama A&M, where they won 14-10.
Somewhere closer.
Something like that.
Yeah, they barely
And
won.
Their defense has been absolutely unbelievable. Amazing job getting after the passer. They have two really great kick returners. That's how they won that game against Alabama A&M. One of their kick returners brought back a punt 60-plus yards to take their first lead of the game. And but in that next game against Alabama A&M, where they had where Hayden Benoit got his first start. No, it was Bethune-Cookman where he got his first start. I was blown away by his performance in his first ever start as a college quarterback. The kid's 17 years old. For 4 touchdowns, a little over 200 yards, and he probably could have had more. He had a couple drops where he, typically when you see a freshman quarterback, especially who was the fourth string guy at the start of the season, you'll see him come into the games. There's very conservative game plans. Nah, the kid, I was impressed by his moxie. He let it fly. He was not scared to air it out. Had a great performance. Last week they had their tough loss against Alcorn. Offense struggled a little bit, so I'm not quite sure if Fry or Dansbury's back to start for the Bayou Classic. If Benoit is starting, I think you guys will be in good hands. They have 3 great running backs as well, and Trey Bradford, who used to be at an LSU at LSU. Byron Eaton Jr. has been very serviceable, and Cruz as well has been very good for them at times. They each offer something very different at the running back position. Some offer more power, others more speed. So it's going to be a great matchup. And like we were talking about the bands, I'm really excited for that. You get to see the bands perform at halftime, the Human Jukebox, my first time seeing them. And, of course, the world-famous Grambling Tiger State Band. And I believe performing with Southern is Juvenile, and with Grambling it's Glorilla. So that's going to be a little fun, too. It's going to be a great matchup. Fans from across Louisiana. And if you ask someone, somebody who has some tie to either Southern or Grambling. This is one of the biggest rivalries in the state.
Yep.
People are going to be flocking down from the ArkLaTex all across the state to New Orleans, so it's going to be a great matchup.
Should be a great matchup, and again, great weather for it on top of it all. Just on the cherry on top, so to speak. That's fantastic. That'll be great. And also, you're going down there.
Yeah,
right?
I'll be providing coverage for y'all, so I'll be doing some Facebook Lives on our KSLA Facebook page, so be sure to check there early in the morning for FanFest. I'll do one before kickoff, and then I'll be covering the game. I'll have highlights, sound from the coaches, fans after the game. So I'll be live at 10 p.m. on Saturday. So if you want to know what's going on at the Bayou Classic, please be sure to tune in. Follow us on Facebook, and I will do my best to give you as much coverage as possible, guys.
That'll be great. I'm looking forward to that myself. That'll be great. Fantastic. Oh, man. And quite the experience there for you.
Yeah.
All right, last thing to go over. We got one last forecast to go over is NFL. Obviously, Dallas Cowboys played yesterday. They won against the Kansas City Chiefs. They looked amazing.
Yeah.
That was fantastic, so congrats to them. But got to go over the other team, which is the team in the Dome, which is away from the Dome this weekend, obviously, due to the Bayou Classic. They are on the road taking on the Miami Dolphins in Miami. Just a slim chance of rain for the game, but obviously since you're down in the one of the southernmost parts of the United States, it's going to be warm. Temperature starting out around 80 and then getting in the upper 70s throughout the game. That's nothing we're not used to with, kind of Florida type of weather, so to speak. Just got to watch out for maybe a spotty storm or two, but overall it's looking good. Winds are also looking pretty much non-existent / calm. So Andrew, obviously the Saints lost last weekend, although the Dolphins
they're weird.
Yeah, they're a weird team as well. They're not that great either. So what are we looking for out of this?
So the Dolphins are Mike McDonald is kind of fighting for his job right now.
Mike McDaniel,
my bad.
Yeah,
McDaniel,
you're good.
Is fighting for his job right now. He is a offensive genius. I just think he's kind of been dealt a bad hand in especially the last couple seasons.
Yep.
Quarterback play hasn't been great, and the Dolphins are kind of really disappointing this year. They're kind of expected to be, fighting for a playoff spot this year with all the investments they've made in the last couple of seasons to try to get into be more competitive. But here they are with 4 wins. The Saints 2-9 hasn't been a pretty season for them. Offense can look kind of stale and dry at times.
Yep.
Defense has been struggling, and if there's one thing Miami can do, it's score points. And so the defense is going to need to be on their P's and Q's to try to slow down a offense that can put up 30 in a hurry.
And I hope the Saints offense can actually get a little bit of some feet under themselves as well. Maybe against the Miami defense a little bit.
It's not great. Tyler Shuck has looked pretty solid so far in his couple starts. He's provided them some good. He's made a couple good throws. He's shown a little bit. Did throw a really bad interception. I think was it no
that was not last week.
That was not last week. It was
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. But he just struggles under pressure, and that's my biggest concern for him. He's made some really good throws. He's showing some decent pocket sense, but when pressure starts to come, he seems like he panics, and the offense has just been struggling. I will say, since he's taken over, Chris Olave has been doing much better. Chris Olave has been getting his receiving yards up. He looks like the receiver that we saw just a few years ago when he was going for 1,000 yards in back-to-back seasons. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. What would be best for the Saints is probably not to win, get your draft position as best as you can. But
that's fair. But you take one game at a time.
You take one game at a time, but we'll see how this goes. A little worried for that Saints defense taking on Miami.
I believe y'all still have to play each of your divisional opponents one more time, I think, in the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Bucks, I think. At least one more time. I know you play the Panthers and Falcons at least.
If I had to guess, they'll get at least one win out of that.
That's what I'm saying. Get some divisional pride at least back. Maybe a little bit.
As long as they beat the Falcons, that's all that matters.
Well, you didn't last week, so oh well. Anyways, thanks for coming on, Andrew, into the football forecast here for the day today. As I said, I've appreciated having you on every single time we've had this on. Then obviously moving forward, we're probably only going to have football forecasts for Saints and Cowboys moving forward, but it won't be able to take up an entire episode like this one did. And we were way over time anyways, but that's fine. As I said, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. I hope you guys here at home have as well. Again, thanks for coming, Andrew.
Yeah,
and also, again, stay tuned tomorrow.
Yeah.
Southern Grambling in New Orleans. Andrew will be there.
I will.
Be there. So ecstatic. Grab yourself some beignets, some good Cajun food as well down there too.
I'm gonna get a po' boy while I'm down there, 100%.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I know.
Anyways, thank y'all for watching very much. This whole week of First Look with Breakdown, we'll have so much more coverage. Obviously on the Bayou Classic with Andrew, and for me on the weather department, we'll have so many details on the storms happening for tomorrow as well. I will also be on shift tomorrow, so I will be helping you out through those stormy hours here throughout Saturday. But hey, thanks for watching again this week of First Look with a Breakdown. We'll be back again we'll be back again Monday at 10:30, same time, same place. CJ Cartledge should be your host on that day. I know he was gone all this week, kind of just due to scheduling, but he should be back on Monday of next week for the First Look with a Breakdown. You can catch him then, same time, same place, again, just Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. I will see you later. Again, be there on Monday. Be there, be square, and most importantly, hey, stay weather aware, especially tomorrow with the storms. See ya. Have a good one.